Uganda will join the rest of the world to commemorate the International Anti-Corruption Day. This is a day that is commemorated every year in the whole world. This date was chosen because it marks the anniversary of the adoption of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption in 2003, a significant milestone in the global fight against corruption. The 9th of December this year also marks the anniversary of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, the first global legally binding instrument against corruption. The International Anti-Corruption Day was established by the United Nations General Assembly in 2003 to raise awareness about the damaging effects of corruption and to promote international efforts to combat corruption. It is a global day dedicated to raising awareness about the detrimental effects of corruption on societies and economies worldwide. So it's not a Ugandan phenomenon, it's a global phenomenon. It serves as a call to action to combat corruption, to promote transparency, and to uphold ethical values in both the public and private sectors. Corruption undermines trust in institutions, cripples economic development, and erodes social justice. Therefore, this day seeks to mobilize individuals, governments, and organizations to take a stand against corruption. These 380,000 people who are employed by government are the ones who are entrusted with all the public resources. 380,000. But out of these 380,000, only about 10% actually have access to the public resources in terms of making decisions. The others are low-ranking officials, drivers, gardeners, tea girls, office messengers, and the lower-ranking officials. But our estimate is that public officers who really have decision-making capacity and are therefore able to have an influence on the disbursement or disbursement or use of government facilities and resources are just about 10% of the entire public service. Now, the question is, do you realize that it could be only those 38 or 35,000 people that are causing this mayhem in the whole country of 45 million? Because the office bearers who are given this money to buy medicine divert it. If we are moving on bad roads, poorly constructed roads, it is not because government has no money to construct roads. It is because the office bearers given the money to construct roads help themselves to most of the money, leaving the small amount of money to the contractor to figure out how to deliver a road with half the budget that is given to them. If the schools are not provided for as they should, it is not because government is unable to do so for lack of money. It is because office bearers given the money to provide these services help themselves to the money. This past year, the Inspectorate of Government has investigated over 1,500 cases, and we still have in our system over 5,000 cases in the system. And we have also ordered the recovery of over 30 billion shillings from cases that have been investigated. And so far, about 19 billion has been recovered and banked on the asset recovery account of the Bank of Uganda of the Consolidated Fund. We have also caused 119 public officers to be dismissed from service due to corrupt tendencies. 14 were reprimanded, 10 were interdicted, and various administrative actions taken on 39 others. The Inspectorate of Government has also prosecuted of about 104 corruption cases, and 43 of them have already been convicted. The Office of the Auditor General has successfully completed 1,930 audits in 2022, and these included financial and compliance audits, 1,700, IT audits, engineering audits, and forensic investigations. You will each get a copy of these statements, so you will find the details in the statement that will be handed to you. State House Anti-Corruption Unit has recently been involved in investigations into diversion of iron sheets meant for reform cattle rustling youth in Karamoja, where over 2.9 billion was refunded and up to 3.4 billion saved from potential loss. The unit has also carried out interventions in the areas of education, recruitment, parish developmental, land and environmental, corruption, and fraud against investors, among others. PPDA, that's the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Authority, has also, over the year, was able to recover. PPDA directed UNRA to terminate the contract awarded to Paula Yol Yapi Sanai for the upgrading of the Muyembe Nakapiripirit Road, 92 kilometers, to paved bitumen standard and second link roads. This was due to the contractor's failure to complete civil works despite receiving an advance. As a result of PPDA's intervention, UNRA was able to recover 39.9 billion shillings from the contractor. PPDA also directed the accounting officer of Masindi District Local Government to cancel 4 procurements worth 170 plus million for the construction of latrines at 4 primary schools. You'll get details in the paper that will be passed to you, but PPDA also recommended that the accounting officer of the National Animal Genetic Resources Center and Data Bank, along with errant staff, take responsibility for the flawed procurement process related to the procurement of semen and seedlings for farms. This flawed process resulted in the loss of 1.1 billion shillings.